Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay. Today we're reviewing Shaun the Dead, director by Edgar Wright of the Cornetto trilogy with frickin' goddamn it,
Slow down.
Hot Fuzz. It's got some Hot Fuzz in it, and it's got some World's End in it, and it's got this. This was the one that started it all, that introduced us to these awesome characters, that introduces us to Simon Pegg, if you hadn't watched the series Space. Nick Frost, directed by Edgar Wright. Classic fucking movie. What 10? I mean, already.
What the
hell?
I 100% 1,005,000 degree Celsius agree with you. Nick Frost, Simon Pegg were perfect in this. The whole movie was perfect. The whole landscape of it was perfect. What they did, how they blended the comedy and the horror, the effects in it was fucking awesome. Like, dude, this movie became like an instant cult classic immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. I rented this movie from Hollywood Video back in the day when that Hollywood Video still existed and it was on DVD. I rented it, and within like 20 minutes of it, I was like, I'm gonna go buy this.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart and bought it that day.
It's
like,
amazing,
right
dude.
then.
It's seriously amazing. Like, it's a typical, zombie story, but it's infused with comedy, but it's also infused with actual, like, emotion, actual shit.
That's
in it. Like,
another one,
and
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, Eric from Pretty Much It said after The World's End, he's like, do you think that Simon Pegg would get an Oscar for that? You know he won't, but he should.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. I was like, oh my god, this movie too. When his dad dies, when all this shit's going on to him, he actually gets emotional in certain scenes. The scenes with his girlfriend,
Or
the scene with his dad, with his friend at the end of the movie. Like, the acting and the actual emotion and the actual genuine acting in this movie they're fucking top notch. I mean, and you don't see it coming, you don't notice it when it happens because it's this fun horror comedy movie. It's actually a fucking amazing movie.
Look, I'll talk about really quick for you cunts that haven't seen it, because they use cunts all the time.
You cunts.
But which one of you cunts would like a beer? But so the basic plot is Simon Pegg plays a humdrum guy, a humdrum existence. He goes to work every day. He's shitty about where he works. I mean, who wouldn't be? He's getting older. He lives with his...
red on you.
Yeah, that guy was a dick. He lives with his roommate Nick Frost, who's a stoner that sells pot for a living, and his asshole other roommate. And all around this whole thing happening, he's also trying to repair his relationship with his girlfriend because he always wants to take her to the Winchester, a pub, all the time.
We live in Winchester.
The pub. The zombie apocalypse starts happening. It's fucking amazing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that story, the plot itself seems pretty... I mean, it's a comedy wrapped around with a horror.
How many times have you woken up hungover and felt like Simon Pegg in that scene where he's like going to the Indian gas station, he's just like,
You just walk like blindly?
Yeah, every time I'm hungover, I think of that scene because it's just amazing. There's just so many fucking scenes in this movie that are good. There's so many jokes in it that are good. Everything about this movie, I can watch it any day of the week.
The thing is with this movie is, like I said, I've already mentioned it, but it blends together so well, the comedy and the horror and the drama, going throughout the entire movie, and you're never bored. Like, you're never like, okay. You're always like, what's gonna happen next? Like, Simon Pegg, you're funny. Like, it happens constantly. It's like every scene is funny as shit, and Nick Frost and Simon Pegg together are perfect.
And it came out of fucking nowhere. It just came out of nowhere. This perfect fucking movie, and it is a perfect movie. That's why it gets a 10. Came out of fucking nowhere, and you love the characters, you love everybody in it, you love everything that happens in it. You got the whole scene of the Winchester where they're hanging out. You've got her friend David. He's like, he wants to be with her, and he's like, oh, get fucked, Four Eyes. I love that scene. Like, I'm like, yeah, he's a dick.
I like when he's like, let me in. She was like, they're tapping on their apartment door. And he's like, you're not coming up here. And he was like, you may come up, okay. And then like you see him crawling, and you hear the music like dum dum, and he's like, can you let me in? Because he can't make it because he's supposed to.
It's just awesome. And the scene when his mom dies.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my fucking mom! They actually get emotional with it. Like, there's so many fucking hilarious moments. Not scary moments, but like, there's camaraderie, like dude camaraderie moments. Like, the best scene of the movie, in my opinion, is when him and Nick Frost get drunk at the bar, and they're coming home, and they're arms around each other, all fucked up and stuff, and they're like, it's fucking awesome. Like, I absolutely love it. And then they go back and they play their records and shit in their asshole room. It's like, sort your fucking life out, mate. And then he writes it on the fridge. It's
like, it's not hip hop. It's fucking whatever. It's whatever. It's like dance music.
The only thing that pisses me off about this movie is that they dissed the Batman soundtrack.
Yeah.
When they're pulling out the records, he's
absolutely.
like, no, don't throw it. It's like Batman soundtrack. He's like, throw it. Even though the Batman soundtrack does suck for the most part. It's Prince. But there's some great moments in that.
Prince has got some good
breaks that record. But yeah, that first scene when they realize the zombies in their backyard and they're throwing the shit out, that was great. There's a gnat and I don't like it.
I hate it.
It's just, 10 million epic iconic.
I love it
scenes
when
in
they're in
this
the
movie.
backyard though, and the zombie girl's there, and they're like, "She's so drunk." Like, that's the first thing Mike and I probably think too. Is like if we saw like somebody stumbling in the background, it's like we wouldn't think like zombie even when you saw her face, like she's so drunk.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, get out of here. I was like, I'm gonna get physical. Okay, okay. So, but I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know what it was about this movie. I guess it was like the camaraderie among Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, and him trying to fix his life with his girlfriend and his mom, and he's dealing with his stepdad, which he hates, and he's got this asshole roommate telling him like you're gonna have to force your best friend out. All this shit going on, and in the middle of all this awesome special effects makeup going on with this zombie apocalypse happening in the middle of it. And I loved it also how they showed like little clips of it. Like he would get ready, he would see something weird, and he would see a newspaper clipping, and he'd be like starting to read it, and like you hear that boom, and then all of a sudden something happened, and he'd take it out of
And
it.
they do the Evil Dead type camera
Yeah.
shots with it. It's like that quick, like,
I know.
like that quick shots, and I love that stuff like that. But just like you said there, when he's trying to get his life sorted out or whatever, it's a perfect coming of age movie. It's a perfect romance movie for chicks. It's a perfect zombie movie. It's a perfect comedy movie. It's a perfect bro movie. It's a perfect drama movie. This movie is a 10 out of 10 on so many fucking levels. I can't stand it in my heart, and it hurts my lungs. 10 out of 10. I don't even know what else to say about it. There's nothing bad you could say about this movie.
I never once was bored in this movie. I mean, I really. There was not one scene that I was like, oh well, the actor dropped the ball there. Nothing like it was. Just
I want to
like,
watch it again right now.
I know. Let's turn it on. Let's watch it. You want me to go? Let's go. What? But the thing is also I love that part where I mean there's so many memorable scenes, but that one scene when his asshole roommate Pete was talking to him, and he was like, "Do you remember that time that we stayed up in college and we drank a bunch of apple schnapps and played Tekken all night?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "When did that happen?" He was like, 8 years ago in college. He's like, "Oh."
He never left. That's fucking awesome. I love this movie. Like I said, 10 out of 10. I can't say that enough. What's the question of the day?
What's your favorite comedy zombie movie? There's not that many.
No, I think this is the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
I'm sure there's more. Well, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is a comedy zombie.
Do you think that this is the most underrated film of all time?
I don't know if it's underrated.
I think it's underrated because it's a cult classic, and like I was talking
It
about,
is a cult classic.
Striffler from Pretty Much It said this movie should have gained fucking awards. I mean,
It should
that
no.
great.
I think that surprisingly, also a little bit of addendum. I'm just with words today. George Romero said something that he loved this movie.
Yeah.
He thought it was perfect because it's not just the fact that they're all zombies. Even in the beginning of the movie, when they're riding on the bus and they're going to work, everybody has this zombie look on their face before they get sick because that's how you feel.
Oh, and I forgot about that. It's also like a fucking not.
Why did you present? You're like,
da-da, for you, the world. It's a satire too. I mean, it's a satire because of that. So yeah. So I mean, what's your most underrated horror film of all time in your opinion? And what the fuck do you think is your favorite Cornetto trilogy?
Well, man, would you really feel? I mean, do you really? I mean, I would say this movie's underrated as a comedy horror movie, but then again, it's not. I mean, because it's got cult classic. Most people know Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say Shaun of the Dead,
And I get that. I still think it's underrated even at that point, though. But so I'll say, what do you guys think is your favorite film of the Cornetto trilogy, of Edgar Wright, the Simon Pegg's trilogy? I think it's got to be this one for me.
Yeah.
World's End comes in a second, and kind of for a distant third for me, Hot Fuzz. I liked Hot Fuzz, but it doesn't touch these two movies.
I would go with this, World's End, and then Hot Fuzz is okay, but I would probably put in what's that movie about the aliens that they go?
It's not the same. It's not.
Well,
it's just got those two in it. It's Paul.
Well, I liked it when they were together.
It was okay. It was okay.
I mean, honestly, I put that over Hot Fuzz. For me, Paul was better than Hot Fuzz. I mean, Hot Fuzz was funny, but he's just not as funny as Paul.
It didn't do it for me like these two films did. So that's our order. What's your order of the three films that they did together? You can even throw Paul in there for good measure. And until next time, I'm Mike, he's Jay, and
Get fucked, guns.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.